To another Yandere Dev blog. Whatever. So here we are. This is a live animation. This is the program that converts BBH motion data to Vocaloid motion data. And it's the only program that I've seen that actually is able to do that. It's a free program that I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, I did a video on this before. But basically, I don't use it for much other than converting motion data, but I think you can make like games in here and also probably movies with this stuff. I know it does have a Connect plugin for the Xbox Connect, and it probably is already set up too, since it has Open NI or whatever, which is what you need to make the Connect work with your computer. So basically, just click on one of these characters here. Usually I click on the first one since I think that's the closest bone rig to MMD. Just import your BVH, or actually it does have other things that you can import. So you can even import object files or object models, which, let me see something. XSI, FBX, VH. Yeah, I think this is only for motion, so I guess you can put... Wait a minute. I'm just looking at this right now, and yeah, so you can go backwards too. You can, if you had motion that was just in MMD or something like that, you can export that into BBH also, and it will do the same thing. So yeah, well, I'll just import something to show you real quick. What's it, my mocap? No. Mocap. No, there's run folder. So, yeah. Let's just import this. Now usually, like I said, it already gives you a T-pose, which is why I don't use a T-pose in IPI Mocap Studio when I'm recording it, because this already does it for me. However, because the origin point is slightly different, you have to change the character, because when you import BBH, this is what happens. It faces the opposite direction, so you just go to Window, Animation Editor, you just turn it off. But that's how you get to this thing. And then from Animation Editor, you can go on to Offset tab and just slide this slider to your left, and this flips the character around. I think you're pretty much good to go. Sometimes you want to check that the feet are firmly on the floor plane. And same thing, sliding to the left, you can put the feet on the ground. Then you want to click these key things, and then file export as a BMD, which I already did, so I'm not going to do it again. But that's just a really quick, lesson on how to do that. Now we'll go into MMD and the scene that we are working on. So, yes. Sometimes when you have an effect, sometimes it just won't load in, and you just have to load it in every time. It's a little annoying, but that's how it works. So we had this close point light effect, which I'm not even sure that actually does anything, but we'll load that in right now. And here we are in the scene that we did so far. So let's see what we have so far. This is that scene where she's walking that I did that picture from. And this. Alright, so first of all, we need a better camera angle. I have in the script that she kind of walks until she notices Mio there. So I want to do it with some foreboding. for boating. As you can see too, I have auto luminous on, which is actually, I have to go fix some things because right now the windows are supposed to be glowing, but they're not. Hey, Pokemon, when's your next DBZ cartoon coming out? God damn it. So, let's just try to get a decent camera angle. And then let's see where this character is. Let's see if she walks into frame. There she does. Oh, I have some sliding going on with the walking. Alright, so first things first, I gotta find... Let's go here. Turn off track. Go to the front. Usually when you have sliding going on, it's because of the interpolation in between points. So, in this case, it's the root bone point. So, I just want to see. Alright, so, here's going to be a keyframe. Register that. Check on that in there. As you saw, that was the curve. So, all I did was go ahead. I just selected all, which had the curve there, and hit liner. When you hit liner, it just turns it into a straight line, no easing. So that should somewhat get rid of that slide. Although it might not get rid of it all. Yeah, it's not getting rid of it all. Which just means I need more keyframes. So I'll make a keyframe here, and I have to keep make sure that every time I make a keyframe that it has no easing in it, or else I'll get that sliding back. It's a little bit. The reason why the camera keeps shaking is because I have it centered on the model, the view centered on the model, as well as the track camera, so it just keeps bouncing between the two when I scrub forward. Okay, so I want to make sure that... Okay, that is the last keyframe. And... Oops, I do not want all for everything, I only want all for the root bone. Alright, so, and then from here, we have to edit this a bit, turn off the track, and here's where it gets a little bit annoying, especially since there's going to be, alright, something like that. When we make that a keyframe, I'm going to drag this out too, because she's going to just plant her foot there. Kind of have to... It's good to have the floor tiles, because if I didn't have the floor tiles, I wouldn't know exactly where the foot is, or where it has to end up. So, yeah. Let's move this up a little bit to where it was in the previous frame. Yeah, it's just a lot of little corrections and whatnot, so this is not going to be perfect right now. Actually, right there, I think it is. Let's move that. Yeah, so let's create a keyframe there, and then I think the rest of this I can delete from 654 to the end. 5,000. So this is going to be a different type of animation. Usually I do a lot of fight scenes and whatnot. This is not really going to be a lot of fight scenes. This is going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of stuff I want to practice, just cinematography, just how I want to shoot it, how I want to set up the lighting and whatnot. camera angles. This is more just like film practice, I think. So that the non-fight scenes and things will actually be good and worth watching, so you won't be just like waiting for the next fight scene. So that's why I decided to do this instead of Kung Fu Cowboy right now, just to practice this stuff, as well as some other looks of how I want to make these animations look. Right now I'm experimenting with light, as you can see, as well as some other things like ambient occlusion. Well, it's not real ambient occlusion, it's just like a fake ambient occlusion overlay, which is just basically either too far apart. Yeah, so you see these glare and stuff like that. That's part of the lighting things. They're not set up yet, but that's what I did those pictures for. I'll probably put them in this. In fact, I'll probably roll them in right now. Yeah, so I have these pictures. They are taken from the scene, but that's basically with all the light and ambient occlusion, all that stuff in already. So basically I'm trying to make these scenes more dynamic. So since I don't have the fight scene type thing going on, I just have to make it look more interesting, at least to the viewer. So I'm going to do a lot of light and shadow type thing. Try to make it look a little noir or whatever. Not the anime noir, just like the old film style. So yeah, basically it is just a lot of little editing things. Of course I have physics turned off. I haven't even put in the dialogue from the voice actresses yet. Let's just say this. And go to the camera, see what we have. Alright, so let's just play it and see what we have. Alright, walks in, stops. There's still a little bit of sliding that I have to fix yet. And of course I don't have the physics on, so that's why that looks a little bit weird. I also have to go back into these models and change. If you notice, you know, there's a little bit of glare on her hand and whatnot. I just have to change the reflection and stuff like that. Those are just things that I usually mess with afterwards. As far as Mio goes, let us fix her pose so that she's leaning against this wall properly. Of course, this is our main Yandere crazy lady. Yeah. So I hope this will be good. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll finish it by the end of the month, though. I'll try to. I have the dialogue. Right now I just have to basically do the animation and finish that up. But I find this is a little bit more interesting since there's no fight scenes. I really have to pay attention to just how I'm going to film it. Because if it's not, if the camera shots are not interesting, then it's just like not worth it because it won't look that good. Come on, your hand. And somewhere, yeah. Some of these models have this, it's a bone that is, or at least I don't know if it's a bone or a joint. This would be a bone. But it's a bone that's in the wrist and sometimes in like legs and other things. It's not a required bone for the skeleton. But basically what it does is it helps you rotate your wrist, your character's wrist, so that it looks more natural. Because when you rotate your wrist, it's not just your hand that is rotating, it's your whole entire upper forearm and all that stuff. So that's basically what this does. So, just gonna select all and register. I might play the whole scene just to see how it is so far. Not from that point of view. Okay, go to the camera, main camera. Alright, there we go. So she's strolling along, blah blah blah, looking, things are good, tense music is playing, and of course our evil character is setting up an ambush. I'll probably have to cut this bit. And she stops there, and then there'll be another cut to probably Mia saying something. Yeah, so this is a short video. Maybe not so short. But, yeah, it's just